Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. It has been a long time since
We're back, baby.
Zach Boren is back in the building. We're back for BuckIQ. Sorry for the wait, but we needed to load back up and get some content and some stuff to break down. And lo and behold, spring ball has begun. And then a former linebacker makes a move to the offensive side of the ball. And well, you got to have Zach Boren to talk about that. Cade Stover going to tight end.
It's like reverse, right, of what happened in 2012. But yeah, I mean, Cade is such an athletic guy, and I know he had so much hype. So, Buckeye Nation, Buckeye fans, when he was getting recruited, Ohio High School Player of the Year, they thought he was, the next Andy Katzmart linebacker. And I'm not saying he's not, but I think Ohio State, with the depth that they have, I think so many people don't realize how talented that linebacker room is until they push him defensive end. He was growing, getting bigger in Mickey's strength program, put him at defensive end, but there was so much talent. And so they knew how athletic he is. He had a great career in high school on the offensive side of the football, so he's going to move the transition to tight end, and especially with some older guys and the possibility of losing three guys to the NFL after this year, Cade Stover is the future of Ohio State tight end room.
So when you look at this, Zach, I mean, your situation is very rare, and most people don't do it in 3 days. But Sam Hubbard went through this, and we've talked about him at linebacker, tight end, defensive end. Rashad Berry went through the exact same thing, and sometimes the results are mixed. It didn't work for Rashad Berry the way people wanted. Sam Hubbard became an NFL player. What's going to be the difference here as Cade Stover makes this transition? Is it just as simple as you have to leave him and let him do it? Is it could there be more moves? What do you think he has to do to become that guy at tight end?
There's two differences. One, as you mentioned, Sam, Rashad, and myself, they all happened later in our career. Cade, he's a redshirt freshman, right? So this is a kid who has got a lot of time to learn the position, to learn from the older guys, right? He doesn't need to step into this role right away. So that's the big thing, is he's got a lot of time to learn the position, to get a feel for it. The second thing is, though, you have to buy in. Right? When you are making these moves, and now he's going to the offensive side of the football, it's kind of up to Cade, and I know Ryan Day talked about it in his press conference, like, hey, we had some serious conversations with him. We don't force anything. It's up to the player if they want to make the move or not. Cade obviously accepted the move, but he's got to buy into it. Yep. He can't do anything, kind of half-heartedly. If he is truly going to accept this change and go over to the offensive side of football and become, the HY that Ohio State's utilizing so much, it's a full buy-in on his part, and I think he is going to do that. He's that kind of kid.
All right, we've got to go back a little bit to find some offensive clips from Cade Stover. So back to high school, not looking at his freshman year at Ohio State because he's done with defense for now. So Zach's going to take us back and see what maybe he sees in a tight end from a younger Cade Stover. Let's roll the tape. All right, Zach, so you look at Cade Stover here. A lot of this is still going to show up, on defense. And it's weird that we've got somebody a year into the program or looking at their high school film, but he redshirted last year, didn't have a whole lot for us to break down, and now he's a tight end.
Yeah, he is. And this is a kid that I know a lot of Buckeye fans, the coaches are expecting a lot out of him. That, he was a highly ranked recruit from Ohio. And I know, a lot of Ohio State fans wanted to see what he would do here with the hype, obviously, at Ohio State. And last year, you saw him a little bit on the field. But this year, moving the offense, wasn't really seeing that. But this is a kid who, maybe next year, after losing 3 tight ends, if Rucker goes, this guy could be the future, of the Ohio State offense with that HY position that Ohio State has grown to utilize so much more under Urban Meyer and Ryan Day's offense.
So we saw him a little bit there at running back. He rushed for almost 1,500 yards that senior year. They'll be just sprinkled in here. He knew he was going to start on defense, so I'm sure that's why these clips are that way. But what is it that you look at? He looked a little, to me, like Rashad Berry, the way he was running around there at running back. But what do you see that says that this could be a potential move for him that works?
Just his athletic ability, right? He's a big, tall kid. You see, he's head and shoulders bigger than everyone on the field, right? He's running back. But you see his speed, you see his agility, you see him playing free safety here, in defense in high school, right? This guy is able to do so many different things. He's getting bigger, he's getting stronger, he's getting faster in Coach Mick's weight program. And this is a guy that, making open field tackles like that, even at the high school level, that's the hardest play to make, right? Yeah. You have to have some athletic ability. Here you see him breaking on the football. He's got great hands. It's just a guy that has a skill set that isn't just a linebacker or defensive end, right? What we've seen him been doing. This is a guy who's got a skill set that can go to the offensive side of the football, and I think that's where Ohio State and Ryan Day and them are seeing where he could be most beneficial to this Ohio State team.
When you watch him bounce off of these guys, it's hard not to be enamored by some of the stuff he can do on both sides of the football. And I think that's why the coaching staff had to have a hard discussion. The same thing, it comes up all the time with the Sam Hubbard comparisons. Like, what's going to be the best way to get him productive on the field? What's the best future for him at the next level? Where do you need it? Those are hard conversations to have. You've been through this where you change positions. Like, nobody wants to do that, but sometimes it's what the team needs more than what you need.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And, everyone wants to look at the linebacker depth chart. There are still a lot of very talented young guys that Cade would be behind, right? You go to the defensive end position. Look at how deep Ohio State is at defensive end, and even in their recruiting, what they have coming on campus next year and the year after, right? There are so many highly touted guys at defensive end who maybe that's their only position, right? So they look at Cade and they're like, okay, there's a lot of depth at linebacker. Defensive end, it's not his natural position. There's a lot of depth there. We've got a lot of talent there. Where can we utilize a guy that has a lot of assets for us that can be successful in the Ohio State program, right? And I think that's what they see, and that's the conversation that they had with Cade was, hey, there's 3 tight ends, yes, ahead of you, but hey, listen, 2 of them are seniors. One of them could have a breakout season and very much so go off to the NFL. And even in our offense, we run so much YY with 2 tight ends, 12 personnel, that, hey, we can get you on the field, right? It may not be a ton this year. They're an injury away from him seeing some playing time, right?
Yep.
But maybe not so much this year. But Cade, there is so much more playing time for you as the year goes on. You learned this year at tight end. You learned from 2 seniors and Jeremy, who's one of the most athletic tight ends in the Big Ten, maybe even the country, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You learned from these guys, and you could be a huge asset for us moving forward.
He scored some touchdowns. We saw a one-handed catch there. It looks like there's some real possibilities for him there, maybe on offense. I think whatever they decided to stick with, I think Cade Stover could become a really productive player for Ohio State, offense or defense. But for now, that move is for tight end, and probably the best thing for him will be to stick with it and let him actually learn it. That's when guys really take off. So
yes, no, I completely agree. And he's also a physical guy. We've seen from this tape how physical he is, right? And so this is a guy that not only have you seen him roam the middle of the field, right, and make one-handed catches, but this is a guy who can also sit there and is going to be able to block, who's going to be able to be, on the line of scrimmage or in that hip position and really be able to bring a physical aspect to a blocking.
All right, nobody knows better what a dual weapon looks like than Zach Boren, breaking down Cade Stover for us, back in the saddle here at BuckIQ. Great to have you back with us here at Lettermen Row. We're going to keep this coverage all year round for Ohio State. For Zach, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live. We've got the practice report. We got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got BuckIQ with Zach Boren.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.